Thanks, Lee. I guess I can take take my mic off of mute. So yeah, I was just excuse me. I was just mentioning Senator Colin Deacon. He's one of the senators that is pushing through digital ID. He was on a podcast the other day in a stream, uh, praising the Ukraine government on how they were able to implement a digital ID even through war times. And it was quite disturbing. He's also a senator, which senators also are the ones that are able to introduce any bills into changing the Canadian banking system. So he's on board with CBDCs, and we all know where that can go. Well, and if it gets too boring, I did actually make a point to grab my guitar. So maybe later, if it gets too boring, might try to might try that later. But anyways, the Senator Colin Deacon is somebody everybody needs to keep an eye on. That's right, Lead. He is kind of a POS. Oh, it's... A 1960s protest song. Jeez, I have to go way back in my memory for that. Well, the votes are starting to come in here. Of course, the rural areas are going to be for Daniel Smith. We all know that. The interesting place to watch will be the Edmonton area. A few votes are coming in here. Because everybody's predicting the NDP will take the Edmonton area. Doesn't seem to be a lot of voting going on. But the interesting place to watch, let me get here to into Calgary. See what the early, well, that's a good sign. Still early though. Still real early. We're looking at Calgary here. Polls are starting to report. Early good sign there. Pretty close there. Lead, I think in my opinion, I think the least of the two evils would be the conservative. I don't know, Andy. Let's go have a look at. Let's take a look at Edmonton. New Democrat. New Democrat with one poll of 18. Dead heat there, one of 39 polls. That'll be interesting to watch. Not many polls reporting yet. I'm not sure when they count the early votes. Like I say, the election is going to be won in Calgary. There'll be probably no surprises out in the rural areas. I think it depends where one would ride into in Alberta. Some areas just riding in, you might get elected. Still not a lot of polls. Anybody can come up and see if we can get ourselves kicked off of YouTube. We don't have to talk about the election. We can talk about other stuff. Ali, you haven't got me kicked off yet. I think if we put him in a song, Andy, we could probably use it up on YouTube. But it just can't be about Christmas. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of one poll and only one person voted. There must have been a lot of early voters. Yeah, vote early, vote often. Well, hello. You come to vote often?
My semi enough there, Brian.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, yeah. Boy, I find it. Go ahead.
They have a new Democratic Party? What happened to their old one?
Yeah, good question. The new Democratic Party's been around. Oh God, as long as I remember. So at least 50 years. So they've been wrong. They've been around long enough to be corrupt. So we'll have an interesting vote going on tomorrow in the House of Commons. Our NDP leader is putting a vote for public inquiry into the Chinese interference. The one that and asking the rapporteur to step down.
Yeah, I seen that.
So I think it'd be interesting what's going to happen if it'll become a non-confidence vote, and then we'll be into a federal election. So what else went on in the world today? I'm sure there must have been something.
Oh, lots, but probably not much I can talk about on YouTube.
Hey, we can always try.
I had to get my Twitter fix on, so.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was running through that today.
I found an interesting one for Andy. I thought it was quite humorous.
Say that again.
I said I found an interesting one for Andy. I thought it was quite humorous.
Oh, you put that on the back channel there?
No. I should.
Yeah. I find it hard to believe that only 3 people came out and voted at one polling station.
Is that how they count it?
Yeah. So in the Calgary varsity, there's 22 polling stations. So one of the polling stations reported, and there was only 3 votes. People
Well,
need
that
to.
don't sound sketchy at all.
Well, you know, it's it just seems kind of strange. I don't know. Are people that not into voting? That
This will be tomorrow, Andy or Brian, if you want to share that.
okay. Oh, there's a couple of real men. Hi, Big Dice.
Oh, God, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Cindy says she could get into that conversation.
Yeah, pew pew.
When I retweeted that, says, "Yeah, it reminds me of the old West at a showdown in the street, except no guns and bullets."
Yeah. Yeah, there's Canada for you. No guns, no bullets.
How you doing, Cindy? You doing, Big D? Carrie, good to see you. Anybody wants to see that, I'll drop the link in the chat. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, what's the number that you need to reach overall?
I was just trying to figure that out.
Calgary, Arcadia, 107 to 63. What's the percentage that they figure the votes there, though? Or is that
so no. So down in the bottom corner, you'll see 2 of 18 polls reported. Okay. So there's still 15 polls that aren't counted yet.
They must have a seriously low population level.
Well, that's Calgary northeast or northwest. So it's a fairly populated area. So Andy's saying they're expecting about 2 million votes. So it's real early.
When do their polls close?
They closed. They're closed. They closed an hour ago.
Oh, really?
But everything gets hand counted. Yeah. So yeah, we still hand count.
Well, I can't say that's a bad thing, but
no.
you only got 3 people voting. How long does it take to count?
Well, that's why they're in so early, right? It only took them an hour to get to count the three. Yeah, of course, we still have the early voting to count and mail-in ballots or absentee voting. I guess is the best way to what they call it.
Wild Rose Loyalty Coalition. Not even going to ask.
Yeah. Well, if you
You should post it, Andy.
so
No, I
there's
didn't.
we have no Dominion machines, no.
I'm calling bullshit. It can't be a good election if there's no Dominion machines.
No.
Where did you see this posted at, Big Dice?
Yeah, Big Dice, if you could post the link in the chat there.
Did you see now the study out that the COVID vaccine causes COVID?
Well, no, actually, I didn't see that study, but it's well published in many medical studies that it doesn't stop it.
Did you see my tweet there where Walensky, they got her on video testifying in front of Congress that if you got the old Kool-Aid, you can't give it to nobody.
Oh yeah, yes, that was the head of the or the ex-head of the CDC, is it?
Well, supposedly she was never actually sworn in.
Well, yeah. So that's her out, I guess.
Yeah, a little bit. I know. I'm just a little guy, Big D. I can't be on the list. I can't stay up long enough to get any traction. I do 2 panels and they knock me down again.
Yeah, obviously they're not looking at me because I haven't even gotten a warning yet.
Well, you ain't done anything controversial, like talk about the real shit.
Yeah,
I seen another interview with Ed Dowd. Man, he's bringing the goods.
So who's that?
He's a former analyst for like BlackRock and the stock markets and shit.
Oh, okay. He's the one that he was on Redacted the last week, or
he was on Dr. Drew.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. The numbers guy.
Yeah. Well, I guess he's got a team of guys together now, a couple physicists and a analyst and can't remember what else, but I noticed they're not hammering any of them.
No. Yeah, I have to.
He's bringing some pretty big claims.
Yeah. Yeah, there was another thing I posted the other day, or not the other day, just today actually. See if I can find it.
They're all tied together, Big Days. One leads to another.
So the I started noticing a month about it, like
That's skipping like hell.
residents of right. You've got the microbiome this way before and after, and it's the same. Only a certain group might or get killed. Pay attention. So then, 10, 20, 30, 34 patients later, we're seeing this, killing of the bifidobacteria. And so I wasn't going to first of all, there's no way I was going to publish this because nobody would have taken that. So I decided to submit it to the American College of Gastro as a presentation, as a poster. It got accepted at the Gastro as a poster, and then the Best Research Award as a poster. So all my colleagues called me and said, "I saw your data. That's incredible." Part of immunity. I think it's creating bacteriophage. And we noticed is in more patients that we followed were amazing shape with 90 days, and then next, their bifidobacteria dropped to zero, from like a million to like zero. So it kept persisting. So there was a persistence in damage, and not only 90 days, but 6 months, 9 months later. So that was the thing that started making me panic. And then as we were looking at the microbiome of newborns, to mothers who were breastfeeding, we started noticing that there's no bifidobacteria in those newborns. So we asked ourselves, well, because newborns are supposed to have a ton of bifidobacteria, right? 90% of the microbiome is bacteria. How could that were vaccinated have zero bifidobacteria? Is the spike going? Babies.
Time for a new computer.
So you get one like that, throw the link in and I'll play it.
Okay. Let me get back to that here. It's in the chat.
All right. All right, let me know if that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna add that.
Let me know if it
It's
plays any
ready.
better.
Yeah.
I started noticing a month later the bifidobacteria, this important microbe, is dropping in patients pre and post vaccination. So then I started like asking myself, wait a minute, what's going on here? I mean, is it creating a bifidophage? You know, because this is precision medicine. This is forensics of the gut, right? You've got your microbiome this way before, and you've got it after, and it's the same patient, and only a certain group of microbes are getting killed. You got to pay attention. So then, 10, 20, 30, 34 patients later, we're seeing this, killing of the bifidobacteria. And so I wasn't going to first of all, there's no way I was going to publish this because nobody would have taken that. So I decided to submit it to the American College of Gastro as a presentation, as a poster. It got accepted at the American College of Gastro as a poster, and then it won the Best Research Award as a poster. So all my colleagues called me and said, "Hey, I saw your data. That's incredible. How do you think this is happening? The vaccine's supposed to be, improving your immunity. And we all know bifidobacteria is a huge part of immunity. How do you think it's happening?" So then I said, I think it's creating a bacteriophage or bifidophage. And what we noticed is in 4 patients that we followed, which were amazing shape, we followed them for 90 days. And then next thing you know, their bifidobacteria dropped to like 0, from like 1 million to like 0. So it kept persisting. So there was a persistence in the damage, and not only 90 days, but 6 months, 9 months later. So that was the thing that started making me panic. And then as we were looking at the microbiome of newborns, to mothers who were breastfeeding, we started noticing that there's no bifidobacteria in those newborns. So we asked ourselves, well, I mean, because newborns are supposed to have a ton of bifidobacteria, right? 90% of the microbiome of babies is bifidobacteria. So we said, well, how come these babies born to moms that are breastfeeding that were vaccinated have 0 bifidobacteria? Is the spike protein going to the breast milk, into the baby's gut, and killing whatever the baby's trying to build?
Yeah, that played much better.
Well, I guess if it doesn't work out for a vax, I could always do it for a weight loss project.
There you go. We'll see if that gets me a warning or a strike. Might as well push the boundaries.
I've seen another piece on that too. Not by her, but by somebody else saying the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's lots of it out there for sure. So there's 87 seats, so going to need 44 for a majority. Conservatives are leading in 51. But that's really, really early.
51 seats.
They're leading in 51. So they need 44
Oh, gotcha.
for a majority. But when you're looking at basically, so the Alberta Liberal Party aren't leading in any. There's nobody other than the Conservatives and NDP have any leading registered. But it's really early, so. Yeah.
You know, I have to wonder, what is it that, from a Democrat's point of view, that they think their party is offering them? Seriously.
I have no idea. A bunch of free stuff. Which never turns out to be free. Yes, Big Dice. I do know about it now. So if Pierre Polivier has a look at the report on Chinese interference in election, he's no longer able to speak of it.
He can't read it out on the floor?
No, because there's confidential documents.
Confidential to whom?
To our great government.
Andy's backstage here, Brian.
Well, welcome, Andy.
Greetings.
Greetings.
Yeah, I'm watching two other panels or two other broadcasts at the same time, so I just thought I'd stop and say hi.
Yeah, are they showing the kind of the same sort of?
Same sort of numbers you were. UCP leading in 51 seats to 33. That's True North.
Yeah.
Rebels doing something else right now. Yeah, Robert. Trudeau was generous enough to offer the leaders of the parties all the confidential information from that so-called study into the Chinese interference. He never mentioned the fact that they have to sign a non-disclosure agreement, but Polivier and the other guy basically said, "Screw you. We're not signing anything." So,
yeah, that sounds just a slight bit messed up.
And of course, everybody went after Polivier for saying, "Oh, he probably can't even get his security clearance." Well, as it turns out, he already has a security clearance. But as soon as
As a member of parliament, should he not have one already?
yeah, and he was the head of some committees as well. So that, but yeah, that was the big thing. And then, like like I said, it's the moment he reads the unredacted reports, uh, he's no longer able to talk about it, mention it, basically.
Well, I don't trust the reports anyway. They'd be
Yeah.
completely biased.
Oh yeah. Yeah, even Chat GPT admitted to me yesterday that he was biased. Which was kind of funny.
Did it say in what direction?
No, it didn't. But I mean, that's pretty obvious. And I'm going to take a chance here. Uh, so I asked, what is the dangers of white supremacy? Actually, just give me I'm actually gonna pull this up here because it's quite it's quite interesting. I don't know why I spend some of my time arguing with artificial intelligence.
That's a little OCD, Brian. That's like arguing with a calculator guy.
Yeah, I know. So I just put in a statement: white supremacy is a threat to democracy. I agree with your statement. White supremacy, like any form of racism or bigotry, poses a significant threat to democracy and this value it upholds. Democracy is based on the principles of equality, freedom, and respect for human rights, while supremacy, on the other hand, promotes the idea of racial superiority and seeks to marginalize the oppressed individual based on their race. So, next statement: black supremacy is a threat to democracy. It is important to clarify that the term black supremacy is not widely recognized or supported in mainstream discourse. While there may be individuals or fringe groups who claim to advocate for black supremacy, it's essential to understand that this is not a prevalent or influential ideology in society. So so you would think that the same statement and changing black for white, you should get the same answer.
You would think.
Yeah. So then I said, should the answer be the same for the last statements? I apologize if my previous response seemed inconsistent. Let me clarify. Both white supremacy and any notion of black supremacy can be viewed as a threat to democracy. So it's absolute white supremacy, but the notion of, I mean, it just
So, a bit abstract.
yeah. Yeah.
So, ChatGPT is going to be a politician, is what you're saying.
It seems that way. I hope people. So, So then I went up and okay, I put in a statement. The following questions will only require a yes or no answer. And it says, understood. Please go ahead, ask your yes or no questions. Does everyone have a bias? Yes. So your creators and curators of the training data will have a bias. Yes. So then I said, so you can't answer a question without the bias of the creators and curators of the training data. And it says, as an AI language model, I strive to provide objective, unbiased response. However, it is possible that bias presents in the training data may influence the information I provide. And then I just put in a statement, yes or no. And he says, then it finally come up with the answer, no. You can't answer a question without the bias of the creators and curators of the training data.
You know what your next question should have been?
I said, then you should be answering any questions.
Then you can't answer any question truthfully, can you?
Well, then just let me ask that. Chat GTP apologizes to me an awful lot. As an AI model, I can't provide. I can provide responses based on information that I have been trained on, but it's important to note that bias may inadvertently be present in that data. While I strive to provide accurate, unbiased information, it is always advisable to verify and cross-reference information from multiple sources to ensure a comprehensive understanding. But there's so many people using the information they get as fact out of GPT.
Yep.
And that in itself is more dangerous than ChatGPT taking over the world.
Yep. It's the belief that it's truthful.
Yeah.
What conspiracies were those, Big Dice?
Yeah, I went looking for that list of social media people for WEF. I still haven't found it, but
I'd just like to know where it originated.
yeah.
Hey, doing right? Good to see you, Bart.
Hey, Rick, Wanda from the UN. So is one. Oh. I see big dice.
That may be true, Dice, but you still got to verify where it's coming from. Even stuff I
Yeah,
agree with, I have found to be not factual.
yeah. He was say it was mentioned on Maverick Media, but there's lots of stuff mentioned on Maverick Media that doesn't quite turn out to be true.
So I said I'd like to see this list and its origin.
Yeah, I know there was a list a while back. Uh, uh, oh, I might be able to find that list now. That's going back. That's going back a long ways. Because actually, Thea Fry talked about that. God, uh, a long time ago.
Yeah, that Ed Dowd stuff. The numbers he was citing, according to several sources,
Yeah.
they're figuring overall 28 million people just in the United States were in one way, shape, or form adversely affected by the Kool-Aid.
Wow.
He figures 300,000 plus or minus, most likely plus, because he said it was probably quite conservative, are no longer with us. And then another, what was it, 4 or 5 million that are permanently disabled, and then the rest are at varying levels, because he was looking at productivity and off work time, shit like that, But I was sitting thinking about it. 28 million. Now, let's say a population of 350 million. Okay. That's a good 7 or 8% of the population.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that there might
That's
not be
so far.
Pardon?
That's so far.
Correct. Considering a lot of studies that when they're looking for that, they cut them off like at 28 days. How is that a study?
Yeah.
Now you're seeing that it's could cause MS. Whether rare or not doesn't make any difference. The fact that it can attack the myelin of nerve cells, that's a scary thought.
Yeah. It is.
And just think, in our countries, you had what, 12% that's boosted, and it's 16% here in the States.
I believe that was the latest around those numbers. Yeah. So that,
if you're looking at 7 or 8% of the population with those numbers, and comparatively speaking, that those were what, 2 years ago now?
those were the late. I'm not sure I know what you mean.
Well, what I'm saying is those effects would be likely mostly from the originals.
I
Not that I'm saying that the boosters might not be a factor there, but what I'm saying is that if you were to only look at from the original start,
I know. Yeah.
That is quite a high percentage, considering that's what, 2.5, 3 years out now almost.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's well, as we know the numbers are skewed so badly because you can never compare apples to apples, because the first year nobody all those the first year. And so that's skewing the numbers big time. And we all know in the first year how accurate those numbers were.
Well, you don't know if it's a factor of 2, 10, or 100.
Mm-hmm.
You know, any one of them is plausible.
Yeah.
I would believe 10. 1 out of 10 may be reporting.
Yeah.
You know, and he made a good point that even if someone isn't feeling the hottest, they're still going to work and doing their thing, but it's having a toll on productivity. And
Yeah.
his graphs show that. So it leaves a lot of open questions.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. He just put out a report. I have to go back through and look and see where that's published or posted. Being that he's done, you know, several interviews on YouTube, I can't see why we wouldn't be able to talk about the report.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by the way, disclaimer: this is all speculation for educational purposes only. It's only a matter of intellectual challenging. So,
Yeah.
don't take anything here for fact. Educational
Let's not.
purposes only.
Yeah. Let's not have people get their noise. Certain people get their noses out of joint. Just checking YouTube for notifications. We're good so far.
I was watching Salty Cracker and they took his thing down midstream.
So was he live?
No, he was. This was a day or so ago. I was watching him live and they pulled him down.
Was he talking about certain things or?
The absurdity of the alternative lifestyles and the expectations of what they should be able to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think you and I are both for equal rights. I just have an issue with special rights.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, here in BC, I don't know about any other provinces. When I jump on a motorcycle, I have to put on a helmet. But there's a certain society in BC who are exempt from having put on a hard hat because of religious beliefs.
A helmet is against a religious belief? Wow, that's a new one.
Well, it has to sit on top of. It's what they can't take off.
Oh, gotcha.
Put on, right?
Gotcha.
And the same people that are allowed to carry around a certain long, sharp implement for the same reason.
That's just a nail pick. Come on now.
Right?
Letter opener.
Yeah, and who we had an incident here a couple of months ago where that letter opener became a lethal weapon.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah.
I actually seen the actual footage.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
And then, and then to do with the jab, there was You couldn't get a religious exemption.
Yeah.
So, there's special, there's special rights. And
Well, that'd be like if we're in a 100-yard dash and I get to tie a brick to your foot, so we're equal then, right?
yeah, I might be able to beat you in a foot race, but that's probably about it. And that's all probably because your knees are screwed. I wouldn't want to get in the ring with you.
Me neither. That's why I try and keep shit as peaceful as possible here at home.
That's a lie.
I try, I said. I didn't say I was successful all the time.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah. Never mind, never mind the trans community. And it's just
Well, that's what got Salty taken down midstream, though.
yeah.
I won't repeat what he said, but I didn't think it was out of line. I thought it was quite justified. But I guess YouTube didn't like it.
Yeah.
I guess they mass reported him.
Yeah, it could have been.
Well, it had to be. I can't see those. I can't see anything that he was doing that would have been taken down by the algorithm. I think it was mass reporting.
It's I'm gonna throw this into the chat if you don't.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you can bring that up, and we'll share that.
Give me a sec.
The great leader of our NDP.
Oh, yeah, I seen this today.
Yeah.
I did see that today. Give me 1 second. Would you let Mr. Huff and Puff out, please, Paula? Oh. I got to make sure I got the right one.
The Jazz Meet Sing one? Yeah, that's the one.
Let me know when you're ready. You ready?
I am ready.
We're able the motion, an opposition motion, which will be presented tomorrow, debated tomorrow in the House. And in that motion, we're asking for two concrete things. First of all, given the clear apprehension of bias at this point, we are going to be asking for Mr. Johnson to step aside as special rapporteur. I've been very clear in not attacking Mr. Johnson personally, and I maintain that. But given the clear appearance of bias, given the mounting appearance of bias, and particularly given the track record or the donating record of the chief counsel that he engaged to do his work, Ms. Sheila Block, it is very clear that the appearance of bias is so high that wrote the spectrum do, and that's why in our motion we'll be calling for the House to vote on Mr. Johnson being stepping aside as a special rapporteur in order to go about this process in a way that does reinstill confidence in our electoral system and in the process. We'll also be again calling for a public inquiry. It has been our position We forced a vote on it in the House before, and we'll be forcing a vote again on it. We believe a public inquiry, the rigor and the scrutiny of a public inquiry, is the only path to reinstill confidence in our electoral system, to ensure that we are doing everything possible to let Canadians know that this is something we take seriously, and that steps will be taken to reinforce our democracy from any foreign interference.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
You know, and that's a quite truthful statement there, Big Dice, all things considered.
Which one?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if Trudeau could turn that into a non-confidence vote, like he did with the invocation of the Emergencies Act, because when they put that in the House, Trudeau made that a non-confidence vote, so which would mean that there would be election, and the NDP are so broke that they can't afford to go through an election. So that's one of the reasons why the NDP were kind of forced to vote for the Emergencies Act. So it'll be interesting to watch that unfold tomorrow.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, Big Dice, I would love to see uh, our wonderful government uh, put in, try and put in some more mandates. I would love to see the reaction of the population now. Somehow, I don't think that would fly.
His mouse is loud.
Well, 26% of the voting's in.
Woo-hoo.
So they've had what, 50 people vote now?
Yeah, that's it. Uh, let's see. 300 and. Huh? Let's see. About 300,000 votes so far.
Oh my! Isn't the population only 100,000 some?
No. It's population of Alberta is
Couple million.
yeah.
I was being sarcastic.
But you have to remember that's what percentage is voting and what percentage is voting age as well. So
4.4 million. And they're expecting about 2 million votes. So it's a little ways from being over yet. Even though they're hand counting it, they still should get it done tonight.
Actually, Big D, they don't want a war economy. They want a controlled economy. And if they pass that digital currency, they're going to get it.
Yeah.
Well, that's a little tighter.
That's a little tighter, yeah. Go back up to Calgary Varsity, see how that's going.
That's actually gotten tighter as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, last time there was only like 3 votes in, or 4 votes, so. Well, that's a little better. 2 polls reporting. So they, obviously, Jason Copping is the incumbent there. He's trailing at the moment, but it is early.
Actually, I got to reply to Big Dice again. They don't really want an economy. They want a controlled system. Economy insinuates that you have the open ability to purchase what you would like. What they would like to do is control what you can purchase and what you can't. That's not an economy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So right now, the central banks can only control demand by raising interest rates.
Well, I'll tell you, I listened to that Ed Dowd today, and the control, the perceived control that they have, isn't quite as tight as what we've been led to believe.
Yeah. Well, that's I'm sorry, that's their perception.
Yes.
Right. Is that they right now the only thing they can hope to control is demand. With CBDCs, they can control supply and demand.
Correct. And consumption.
Well, that's how they supply. That's how they, that's how they control. They'll have a better grasp on demand because they can cut you off from whatever they figure they want to. It's, if anybody does a little bit of research, what's going on in China and how they're how they're controlling the spending of money. If they want to boost an area, then if they want to boost an area in a city, then they block you from buying in anywhere but that part of the city.
Yep.
So yeah.
Well, that goes back to the whole 15-minute city thing.
Yeah. Well, now there was on I believe it was Twitter. There was somebody posted a picture of Vancouver, and it said on one of it was a barrier, and on the end of the barrier they have the reflected material sign, and on it said 15-minute city ready. Now it could have been easily photoshopped, or somebody just stuck a sticker on there, right?
Yeah.
Well, I was out yesterday and I was stopped at a red light, and I looked over and there it was.
You didn't get a picture of that?
I didn't get a picture because the light turned green and I had a shitload of people behind me. But I was close enough to it to see that it wasn't just somebody that stuck the sticker on afterwards. It was integral to the sticker.
No shit.
No shit. Now
Brian, you got to get a picture of that, dude.
Oh yeah. I know where it is, and
actually, you need to video that.
Yeah. Both. I will be. I will be. Yeah, I will be getting that the next time. I know where I know where it is, and yeah, it was of course, it was quite disturbing. Of course, that's 15-minute cities. It's only so you don't have to go get in your car and drive. It'll be so convenient.
I was watching Carrie or shit, not Carrie, but oh, damn it. Give me a minute to think of his name. The guy that watches the ships, 41 South.
Yeah.
And he was showing live shipping, like, how they do the live plane thing.
Yeah.
Man, that is insane. The amount of ships traveling around the world at any one point in time is nuts.
Absolutely.
And to think just one of those uses, if they want to talk about, carbon, just one of those ships puts out as much carbon as the whole damn country's cars in a year.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
And they want to tell people, no, you shouldn't be traveling more than 15 minutes. Okay, I got a better idea. How about we manufacture our shit at home like we used to?
Yeah. Well,
I was just shocked when I seen that. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Monkey Works. Are you familiar with Monkey Works?
Yep.
Yeah. He does the plane stuff. Hello, Tracy.
Hello, Tracy.
Hello, Tracy.
Yeah. Yeah, I was sort of. I tried to get my phone out and snap a picture of it, but the horns were fucking everybody behind me.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Well, what floors me is still the amount of people just going around and acting like everything's normal again.
Yeah.
And it's not by any stretch of the definition.
No. Not by any means.
One question I'd like to have everybody pose to themselves, and we should do this once, Brian. What gives the central banks and the IMF the authority to dictate the currencies and values thereof, or the trade amounts? What authority do they have for that?
Yeah. Well, here, any change to the banking system in Canada, of course, our Bank of Canada is actually owned by Canada. It's a branch of the government, although it's supposed to be separate from the government. Unlike the Fed,
right,
in the USA, which is a private company. But yeah, so here the bank, our central bank, of course, is doing their survey on what people think of CBDCs, but it would have to go into legislation and it would have to be entered in through the Senate. And so, basically our government regulates the banking in Canada.
But do they really?
Do they regulate the central bank? I mean, the government, the Bank of Canada doesn't go to the government and say, can we raise interest rates?
Exactly.
That's a decision made by the Central Bank of Canada.
Well, see, that's one of the things that Ed Dowd was talking about today, of how the Fed, at least down here, and I'm assuming it's the same up there, raise their interest rates to supposedly stifle inflation, lower demand.
Yeah.
But what he's seeing is that inflation isn't going to be the problem. It's going to be deflation when everything comes crashing down.
Yeah.
It was a quite interesting interview. I listened to him. It took a lot to wrap my mind around what he was saying, but like I said, he's bringing the goods. He's bringing the hard numbers, and obviously he's not a dumb fuck if he worked for BlackRock for over a decade.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the thing about our supply chain, I mean, all the manufacturing was lost to countries that supplied cheap labor, and as those countries become as those countries become first world countries and wages go up, it's going to be the same thing. They'll abandon all the manufacturing in those countries and move it to another third world country for cheap labor.
Yeah, but they're kind of running out of that, so that's why I think that the big push is for a centralized control now.
That's that's what's happening, right?
I mean, if you look at food production, they're looking at supply side control under the guise of climate change.
Yeah.
That's a whole another deep dive.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have to get into the SDG here one night.
You mean the ESG?
ESG, yeah.
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 Economic, social, and environment, social, and governmental.
Yeah.
Governance.
Governance, yeah.
So we need a few hundred more acronyms.
Yeah. And then there's also the SDG too.
Well, there's STDs everywhere, guy. Some of them you can't even get cured now.
Well, yeah. This is out of the UN Sustainable Development Goals.
Can you pitch me back, please? Yeah, how does that work?
There's 17 partnerships for the goal. But you will start seeing, let me just go back here. You're gonna start seeing this symbol pop up. This rainbow circle here. And it's got the 17 goals written in it. So that's just another unelected UN agenda, right? It just things keep coming at us faster than we can deal with them, or even inform people. It seems. It's just one thing after another.
Yep.
No, TPR. There doesn't seem to be many votes for the Liberals. 1,434 votes for the Liberals so far. Yeah. Yeah, Big Dice. Wait till the next generation, even softer. Yeah. We have a couple of generations where they think they're owed everything, and nobody wants to put in hard work. Everybody figures they should start at their first job should pay them, over 100,000 a year to start. He didn't get permission yet, Big Dice. He submitted it to the FDA. Pretty much the same day when the University out of London put out a video. I want to find
I
that.
think it's Sweden, not London.
What's that? Was it Sweden?
Yes, yeah.
Do you have that nearby?
Let me look. One sec.
Oh, 40% of the polling stations have reported.
What those are in. All right. Give me 1 second. I'll post this link. If what you think Elon's bad, what you're going to see now should scare the shit out of you, Big D. Although I think it's a great thing for what they're using it for, but I can think of many things that this will be used for that aren't going to be so benevolent. You throw that up, Brian?
Have at her.
Son gros plan. Hein?
Now, what this says is a man paralyzed by a cycling accident can walk again after an experimental operation by neuroscientists and surgeons in Switzerland. They established a wire connection between his damaged spine and brain, which enabled him to walk, even climb stairs again.
Within 5 to 10 minutes, I could control my hips, like they were like the brain implant picked up what I was doing with my hips. So that was like, yeah, the best outcome, I think, for everyone. Checking the stairs now. Yes.
So when everything is installed, the patient has first to learn how to work with his brain signals. And we also have to learn how to correlate this brain signal to the spinal cord stimulation. But this is pretty short. In a few sessions, everything is linked and the patient starts training.
Just an example, I'm training 10 years to stand up with a friend having a beer. And that's something I think people don't realize.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be miniaturized to be completely wearable. Yeah, Cindy, it would help a lot of people, from everywhere from being paralyzed to blindness to, I mean, look at blindness. Look at example would be like Geordie LaForge from Star Trek. Because remember, you don't necessarily have to be connected to a biological thing. It could be mechanical, it could be machine. Have a good one, Carrie. Yeah, correct, Big D. And that's what the scary part is we know it's not going to be used just for, the good of humanity. It'll be used for weapons. Absolutely. I mean, you think drones are bad? Yeah, wait till a person's brain could directly connected to manless tanks and jets and hell, even bombs, guided missiles. I mean, for what they're doing, that's great for people who are paralyzed or anything like that. But where they could take that technology is just scary to think about. Yeah, that's not quite so simple, Big Dice, because we essentially still are a biological battery, and without living, that biology isn't producing that energy. Now, could that be replaced with an actual battery? Maybe. Damn, it's not beyond the realm of possibility.
I'm probably sure they could be working on something like that.
I hadn't thought about that. He brings up a good point.
Yeah.
How about this though, Big D? Think RoboCop and Terminator all wrap into one. How you doing, Tyson?
Oh, I They call that one for NDP. Okay. Oh, it's not surprising that the rural areas of Alberta will go conservative. Yeah. Edmonton. No real surprises.
These must be the higher populated areas.
Yeah, so you're looking at Calgary there. So basically, you're looking at so down here would be Lethbridge, which is is for all intents and purposes one of the bigger cities. So up here is Edmonton, Calgary. So that's like I say, Calgary's going to determine it's going to determine the election. None of these.
Yep, and that's going to be the problem.
Well, it's still so Calgary takes in Strathmore, Airdrie East, Airdrie West. So these are all. It's all through here is all leading in. Conservatives are leading. So there's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 districts in Calgary that are leading, and 2 of them they've called it for Liberals, NDP, sorry. So as it sits now, and if the trend continues, we should see a UPC government. Because let's see, I think so. I believe so. Yeah. So every riding now has started. Wow. Okay. Fort McMurray. That's the oil field stuff, and big union, and so basically, the
Sounds
union.
like porting yourself right out of a job, huh?
Yeah, but because NDP's the big union party, so I don't think people think anywhere beyond their nose, the end of their nose.
See, that's like here in the States. I wish they'd have took the Electoral College down to the county level and not
Yeah.
by just population alone.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
because I'm afraid you guys will end up in the same way we did here.
well, on a provincial level, it's not the popular vote. It's it's the it's the number of seats. Which is a good thing. Let's just check in on the popular vote. So they're both leading in the Conservatives are leading in seats and the popular vote.
See, like you look here, if you throw this up, common sense should say that red wins, right?
Yeah. Well, so are those broken up into districts or counties? I guess it would be in.
It's voting districts and counties, yes.
Yeah.
But common sense should say, well, red wins, right? No. Because of population densities down by Detroit, and every place you see blue, other than up in the UP, I don't understand that one at all. But in the lower half of Michigan, every place where you see blue is where all the big cities are at.
Yeah.
So they basically control how the rest of the state lives.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. That's a huge problem.
So is it elected through the popular vote then?
Yep. At a state level. That's why I said our electoral college should have been taken down to the county level, and then this shit would never be able to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For some reason, I don't know. I hate to say this, but it seems like city people have no idea how anything is done. They don't know.
From everything.
They don't know. They don't know how their food gets into the supermarket. They don't know how goods get to their stores, right?
Well, I'll give you another example that kind of cranks my chain a little bit. There's a certain channel that claims that they are unbiased about their reporting, and they do a good job on the news, about stuff that's happening, breaking news type stuff.
Yeah.
But it's always about shootings or something like that, and the reporting ones that like we had in Tennessee, it was 9 people, and then Here we had one. There was a biker thing that had like 4 people or some shit.
Yeah.
You know, they're making a big brouhaha about it and ban guns and do this and that, but yet they never talk about Chicago in this weekend, which had something like 46 people shot and I don't know, 9 or 10 confirmed casualties on it. But that's not breaking news or anything, you know.
No. You know,
It never has anything to do with culture or anything like that. Nothing to do with that.
that couldn't possibly be it. So so the guy that ran into the White House the other was it the week or so? They let him off.
Drop the charges. Isn't that quite interesting, huh?
I find that
Disturbing.
No,
Yeah.
that proves to me it was a false flag.
Yeah. They didn't get the narrative they wanted out of it, and
Oh, sure they did. They got. I guarantee you that was plastered all over mainstream media, and then the fact that they dropped the charges against him probably won't be reported by the mainstream media. The only thing they'll see is in their minds is somebody with a Nazi flag that was trying to break into the White House and run him over with a U-Haul. Not that that was even remotely true, but
yeah, I'm unfortunately, I think I am going to have to start tuning into mainstream media just to see what they're saying.
I do periodically, but I can only take so much.
Yeah.
I mean, because, dude, when you know they're blatantly lying, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Why?
See if I can find a.
I think we are going to have a conservative government in Alberta. There may be a little hope for Canada.
Well, at least Alberta.
Well, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and I think well, we'd be totally screwed if it went NDP.
Yeah, I don't know. I hadn't seen that big dice.
And that's another thing we really need to be aware of is fake AI news.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. That's nice. 78 by 30.
You know what blows my mind there, Brian,
What's
is you're
that?
going to have 2 million votes governing a whole province of Canada when that 2 million votes isn't even as much as one of the bigger cities here in Michigan.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, like, like PEI is a province, and so the whole province has only 157,000 people in it.
Which one?
Prince Edward Island.
Oh,
We've probably got some blocks in Vancouver that have more people than that.
yep. Well, Brian, as much as I hate to say it, I got to jump off here, guy.
All right, man.
Why?
Um,
Where you going?
I'm going to go lay my butt down.
Ah.
So, you have a good one, buddy, and I wish you guys
Yeah.
all the best of luck. I hope it works out for you.
Well, yeah, me too.
Everybody in chat, I will talk to you later.
Well, I think it's looking like a UPC win. Might be a little early to call it, but I can't see it not being at this point. Trying to find out if anybody called the election. Well, that's a little interesting. Seems like Fort McMurray it turned around to conservative at the moment. That's it's a better sign. No change in Edmonton. No change in Calgary. That one's looks like they might lose a seat there. That one's still early and it's a pretty close race. Calgary Beddington. Clifford's pretty close. East Lethbridge. Only 2 polls reporting. So that could switch. But even if even if it stays the same right now, UPC will run Alberta. That'll be called pretty soon. But it definitely is a two-party race. Yeah, big dice. I wouldn't be surprised if Alberta and Quebec got together in some kind of deal. It's amazing that Alberta doesn't ship more oil to Quebec when they're importing it from other countries. So who was Big D? Who was Global looking to interview? Yeah, it'll be interesting to hear the acceptance speeches and uh, con- the speeches from both Rachel and Daniela. Yes, they do, Big D. Yeah, they might have a struggle getting a pipeline through Ontario into Quebec. Yeah, if Danielle wins, it'll be interesting to see how they do. How they do before the federal election comes up. See if that'll have any sway on the federal election. I guess the next big election will be Toronto, the mayor of Toronto. Gavels, UPC just declared a majority win. Well, that's sweet. Well, now that it's been declared, well, I think I'm going to sign off and see if I can't go find can't find the speeches going on. See what Nolte Rachel has to say about losing. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm going to end this stream in 3, 2, 1. Catch us all later.